Hello vlog. Well, first of all, let me discuss that I was going to edit this video, this vlog for today, like footage from like the last 4 days today after church. But you know what happened to me? I left without my SD card. I was like on Stir Drive being like, how am I supposed to edit that footage if I don't actually have the footage? So this is the vlog you're getting today. So I'm parked where am I parked? Between Commonwealth and like Newberry, I'm in Back Bay. Can you tell by the beautiful architecture in the background? So I'm here this Sunday morning. It's about 8:46. I'm supposed to report at 9:15. I just have to walk down the block a little bit. But I thought I would do a little let's chat about some stuff. So I just want to say that, first of all, thank you for your kindness on the food video, and also thank you for your kindness when I talk about sort of my psychological issues with my singing career. It's been a battle, and I've kind of been putting stuff together over the past month, and I want to let you know where I'm at. And if any of you are artists or have like creative careers, or any career where you feel like you don't know what you're doing, or like you're going to be found out or whatever, here's what's been helping it get a little bit better. So first of all, I've been reading a ton of books. I'll put some of the ones that I've been reading, not reading, but listening to on audiobook down below, because who reads? I mean, I know people that read books, but I personally do not read anymore, which is unfortunate because reading is so like romantic and like all that, but I just don't. I put it on and I clean the house. So that's how I get my information. So that's been helping, and I still suffer from some of the effects of like what imposter syndrome. But I'm gonna talk about something that I had like a breakthrough. Okay. So, and I've been afraid to like talk about this, like put it into the general public, like put it out there in the public, but it's something that I feel like would help people, and whoever sees this, it happens to people. Okay. So, I had an occasion at the beginning of the year to audition for a solo or solos in an oratorio that we were doing with the ensemble that I sing with a lot. And I sort of prepared my selections, sang them for like a few months, sort of. And then when I turned up at the audition, I was late. First of all, I was late. I pulled in, and when I parked in my parking spot, I could not pay the parking fee. Like, there was something wrong with the parking app. I was panicking. I tried over and over and over and over again to pay the parking fee. It would not go through. And in Cambridge, Massachusetts, where I was parked, they are absolutely militant about giving out parking tickets. So I was very stressed. So after like spending about 7 minutes trying to fiddle with the parking app, I was like, screw it. I'm just going to go to the audition. So I walked in. I'm like already like 7 or 8 minutes late, and I think my slot was only like 15 minutes. So I didn't have time to like get my bearings, ground myself. I walked in, I sang terribly, and I had all of my like emotion wrapped up in this one audition, and I sang so badly, and the more that I sang badly, the more that all I could think was how bad I sounded. And it just was like piling on. And so I finished my audition, left the room, grabbed my stuff, went down in the basement of where we were rehearsing. And because I had to get ready for the rehearsal, that was like an hour from then in the same building. And I went down in the basement and cried because I was just so embarrassed about my own performance. And of course, nothing came of it. I did not pass this audition. So that was like a really low point for me last year. That's the time that made me want to stop having these experiences. Like, I needed to buckle down. I needed to figure out what was wrong with my technique. I needed to figure out how to prepare, how to fix the holes, how to patch the holes in my range, how to like just get my shit together. Okay. That's when I was like, I made that decision. And one of the biggest things I think that you can do for yourself if you're having trouble like with self-confidence or you're feeling like an imposter is to not think of those failures. And I think of that experience as in like the ultimate failure. But to not think about those failures as like personal flaws, but to think of them as information. And this is like a really big shift in my thinking, because before I had thought about those experiences as like traumatic experiences, like everyone's going to think of me as I have made a terrible impression on this person that's going to stick forever, right? Like they're never going to think about anything else. When I walk into the room, they're going to be like, oh my God, there's that girl that sucked. And that's just not true, okay? Because first of all, not everyone's thinking about you. It's not all about you. It's not about you. Everyone's always just thinking about themselves. And secondly, I know this from experience. When I'm on the other side of an audition panel, I want the person to walk in and succeed. I want them to rock it. I want them to be like amazing. And when it's not amazing, I'm like, oh well. But I don't root for them to fail, and I'm not like, I don't hate them if they don't perform up to what they think is their standard or whatever. So those failures are just information for the next time. And so I've learned 3 lessons about auditioning that I now will carry on to my next one, and we'll talk about the next one. I haven't talked about the next one, but I will talk about it. So 1, don't be late. Arrive early, because I need enough time to ground myself, to like fix my clothes, to meditate, to like relax if I was heavy breathing, if I was walking there fast, because that was the experience too. It was raining. I was walking there fast. I had an umbrella. It was a mess. Arrive early, at least a half hour, at least. If you're sitting around for a half hour, fine. Number 2, don't under prepare. And I don't really consider how I prepared under prepared really. But I should be able to sing whatever I need to sing 5 minutes after I get out of bed, and it should sound good. Not great. It doesn't have to sound great, but I should be able to get up out of bed, sing what I need to sing, and it sounds good. Okay? And number 3, you can't think about how you're doing, because first of all, that's not your job, okay? Your job is not to judge yourself. Your job is to relay the message to whoever is watching you perform or listening to you, and to do that to the best of your ability. So that is your focus, not your sound. Your sound is your sound. You can't do anything about it. Maybe you can reflect on it afterward, but like while you're in it, you can't focus on it, because you're just gonna get into a whole spiral, or at least I did. So let's fast forward to last month, November. We're doing another oratorio. And I do feel nervous about putting this into the universe, because then it's out there, but I'm going to do it anyway. I have the opportunity to audition again for another oratorio by the same composer. And one happens to be my favorite, okay? My very favorite oratorio, not cantata. And this time, I learned from my mistakes. 1, I arrived extremely early, 45 minutes early. And this was an advantage. I will let you know how in a few moments. 2, I was extremely prepared. I auditioned with 3 pieces of material. I sang this material every day. I memorized this material, okay? I knew this material inside and out, and I negotiated every single note, how it should come out of my person, and I was very comfortable with them. Number 3, I did not focus on how I sounded. I think maybe for a moment I did, and then I remembered to just relay the message to whoever was watching, because that was my only job. That was my only job there. My job was not to focus on myself or my performance, but to focus on the message. What time is it? Okay, I still have time. When I arrived early, I had a spot that was 7.5 minutes, okay? To sing 3 pieces of material, by the way. One, which was like in its entirety, 6 minutes, okay? I arrived early. The person that was scheduled to go before me was done early. And I was allowed to go to the audition early. And because I was there early, I got to audition for 15 minutes. So I got to sing every piece of material I was willing to offer. Great. Number 2, I sang everything that I prepared from memory, which I think was very impressive. Because I just didn't want to have the burden of having to memorize notes, or I didn't want to have the burden of like having to like look down and recall notes, words. It's in German. I didn't have the mental bandwidth. And number 3, I don't remember how I sounded because I was just trying to get the message across. And I think that I had a good audition this time. And that was my only goal. My only goal was to do better than I did previously. And I did that. Now, I don't know the results. It's been 3 weeks since that happened, and I don't have anything to report. But I feel like I did the best I could, and I feel like I needed the failure and the embarrassment and the crying to get to a place where I could feel good about what I did. So I just wanted to tell that story because I am so used to thinking of my failures or times when I was not successful or times when I was embarrassed as just the ultimate terrible things. And they're not, they're just information. They're just information. So I think, and I liked the idea of this, I was watching a podcast yesterday, that to keep thinking of a failure journal and like writing down your failures and things you've learned from the failures. Because failure is not part of being an imposter or part of being an unsuccessful person or part of being a bad person. Failure is part of process. And even the most successful people have failures. Probably the most successful people have the most failures. So yeah, that's my sermon for today. My like imposter syndrome sermon. I'm very excited for today's concert. So I'm hopefully gonna put this video out before the concert is live. If you're like not doing anything at 4:00, please tune in. It's gonna be so beautiful. We're doing Britain St. Nicholas, Cantata 65 by Johann Sebastian Bach, and a new piece by a composer named Jonathan Woody, who I haven't met, who I want to meet. I should just send him a Facebook message and be like, what's up? And we're performing with 2 amazing outside ensembles, Boston Children's Chorus and Cambridge Common Voices, which is an ensemble with neurodivergent and people with physical and mental challenges. And they are absolutely fabulous. The children's chorus is fabulous, CCV is fabulous, and of course we are fabulous. And it's going to be a beautiful, absolutely stunning concert. Please watch. You can watch online. Concert tickets are pay as you wish. So you can pay $0, you can pay $1,000, pay whatever you want, but it's going to be streaming. So I will put the link down below. But now first we have to do a service. So we're doing Cantata 186, which is gorgeous. Like absolute, oh my God. Like I am very excited about today's like cantata for our service because it's just so Gorgina. And it's an easy sing. It's not like I'm not feeling like I'm being pulled apart by Johann Sebastian Bach on this one. Okay, I've been talking in my car for like so long. I'm just gonna go and chill, and I hope that you enjoyed my sermon today. I am nervous about putting that story out into the general public because I'm talking about an audition where I don't have the results yet, and like everyone can watch this and be like, well, yeah, no, I mean, I guess I'm not influencing I don't, but you know what I mean? I feel weird about like telling this story, but I feel like if it helps like one person, it was worth the exposure. Exposed. You're exposed. Do you guys know that song that like, I'm gonna expose you. I'm gonna expose you. Exposed. Exposed, exposed, exposed. All right, I'm gonna go. I got both my electrolytes and my tea with me, just in case I don't get any food. At least I have electrolytes. But I think I'm gonna go to Tate and get a latte from Tate. And then I'll start the vlog over again. So I'm back, sort of. I don't have my footage. It'll be like a composite vlog for the next one. All right. Have a good one.
The snow is falling white and pretty as I stroll